Right on time, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, Harry. I know, me too.
Might as well.
I think that was the signal. It's 10 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to be doing two things today. First of all, we'll be talking here at the firehouse, and then after we do a ribbon cutting here, we're going to be moving around to the test garage. We're going to also have a ribbon cutting over there. So, first of all, I want to thank several people for being here today. Number one, I want to thank God for letting us be here. After a year, those of y'all remember the morning of the 3rd when the tornadoes, because it was more than one, it set back down right over to the southeast. And as it came across, it split. One tornado went to the east, the other one came across and turned and went back to the southwest and got the main part of town. There was 172 structures in Hardeman County that received damage and all. Here in Grand Junction alone, there was 28,000 cubic yards of debris. To give you an idea, if you think of a football field, think of a football field from 0 to 50 yards, 8 foot high. That's what 27,000 cubic yards of debris looks like. That was just the debris. One of the first things that happened that morning was I received a phone call from Sheriff Doolin. He said, "What's going on in Grand Junction?" As y'all know, I work for him. I said, "Boss, I can't even get out of the driveway." I said, "I'm doing good to try and get my wife and dogs out of the house. We got a tree fell through the house." He said, "We're on the way." In an hour and a half, I've never been so happy to see orange jumpsuits carrying chainsaws, and the trustees were coming down Madison Avenue trying to clear the street and everything. Once that happened, the sheriff had his command post down here. There were troopers started coming in from everywhere because the sheriff made contact with Major Brown, and they brought him in to start helping, not only to help coordinate the efforts that was going on, but also to take care of the residents. At that time, the sheriff's department and the troopers started going door to door checking on everybody. By this time, I was able to get out, started to give an assessment, where I could give an assessment back to Tony Kirk at Bolivar Energy Authority. He sent crews down here. The Hardeman Fayette Utilities, they wanted to know, was there any natural gas problems? We were also trying to get power back on to get our 2 water tanks where we get plenty of water going. The next thing that took place is my phone started ringing. By the end of that first day, I had 83 missed calls because people started calling in. I asked my wife, Donna Lane, to coordinate the effort through the Methodist Church. I also got with Joseph Junction, our county commissioner. As stuff started coming in, we started getting phone calls, Red Cross, Mercy Kitchen. The sheriff walked over and he said, "How much water do you need?" I said, "How much can you give me?" He said, "We got a tractor trailer load on the way over here right now." So the sheriff got us a tractor trailer load of water in here. That was our primary concern at that point. So then I started riding through town looking at a lot of the structures that had been here for years and years. When I came over here, checking the firehouse and all, because our other firehouse over here was destroyed along with one of our fire trucks. Fortunately, our new pumper and all was here. It was safe and all, because it came across, it caught the edge of this building, but there was a beauty shop here. And at one time, I think it was Dr. Pope's office and all. And all I ever knew is Miss Shirley's place, because she was a hairdresser here, and she's going to talk about that in just a minute. And we started looking at her building and all, and we started doing an assessment. First couple of weeks, we're just trying to get with everybody. and she talked to me about what she was thinking about she might do with the building. Later on, we got together, talked to her, and I just mentioned to her, you know, if you're not going to rebuild, then quite possibly the town would be interested in the structure or at least the property and everything for future. And I said, and if we do that and everything, we want to make sure that this building and this firehouse is donated basically in your memory and all. So what I would like to do is that, I told her she didn't have to speak more than about 15 or 20 minutes. And she said, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. So I want her to tell you the history of where she started right here and then how she moved over here. Because there's two buildings here in town that have been here a long time. And there's this building right here and also the Richardson Brothers store down here. But Miss Shirley, tell us a few things.
First of all, I want to thank everybody. It's an honor and a privilege to know what a turnout y'all have showed up for me today. But thank Curtis for his input, you know. But anyway, I came over here in 1970, and we had a beauty shop down in the corner, and I worked for Eloise Jackson, and I worked 1 year for her. And Mr. Bland bought us out. She said, well, sure, I'll quit. He said, you'll have to buy me out. I said, okay. So I was doing Miss Pope's hair, doing house calls. And she said, sure, I got a building up the street there that I want to sell you. I said, okay. I said, I'm interested. Well, anyway, I bought her building. And in 71, I rented for 2 years. 2 years I rented. In 73, she said, well, why don't you buy the building from me? I said, okay, I will. Okay. Loaned me the money to pay for the building. That's how I got the building here in Grand Junction from Mr. Angie Richardson and Maryland. And I put a shop in up here in 71. And anyway, but Mr. N.T. and Miss Maryland was the one that financed my beauty shop for me. And I bought it in 73, and I said, Lord, I'm not going to stay here, you know. It's my second home. And I have been in business 55 years. Y'all, that's a long time. I was here 55 years. And I have made house calls in town. I still make house calls to my customers. And every day I have a lady that came by every day. That party girl. She comes by every day. She's busy with me so she can watch TV. But anyway, but I did, and then I have people that just walk through the street to the post office. They come in, they sit, and they just visit with me, you know. And that meant a lot to me. But I was just like, you know, we want to talk, you know. You got to have an open ear, you know. So, but anyway, I love all my customers. I love everybody in Grand Junction. It's just a second family. And I want to thank my children for standing behind me and supporting me. And when the tornado come, my children came over and put stuff on the windows to help protect equipment inside. But anyway, I could not go back in business because it was going to cost over $150,000 to rebuild what I had. So I gave everything away, y'all. If you won't believe it, I mean everything. I mean down to the, even gave the brick away to Ray D. Ernest, bless his heart. He took the building down for me, and he's gone on now. But anyway, I decided I gave everything away, so why not give the land away? So that's where I got rid of the land. I called Curtis and them. I said, hey, I want to donate the land to the city of Grand Junction. And but anyway, I have been blessed all these years over here. But the main thing is my faith in God. You know, if I didn't have customers, I prayed about it.
That's right.
You know, and God always answered my prayers. But I have been blessed. Many things, you know. God has just really blessed me over here, and this is my second home. But anyway, I just thank all y'all for coming. Y'all know what it means to me. I said, you know, you never realize that you're going to be honored someday, but anyway, this is a blessing. And I thank all y'all.
How many years did you say you were here cutting hair?
55.
55. Which means that she started cutting hair when she was about 5 years old.
82 years old, y'all. I will be 83 in November. You don't look it, but I try not to look my age, y'all.
She's 82 years young is what she's saying. And I'll say this, as mayor, you get a lot of phone calls. If I wanted to find out what was actually going on in town, I'd say, I'm going by Miss Shirley's and visit with her, and then I'm going by the cafe and find out. But every time that she asks, we always try to take care of it. And what we're going to do is a ribbon cutting, and so what this firehouse is known as the Shirley Dixon Firehouse and all. There's a property over here we're using for parking right now for future expansion and all. This will be referred to as the Shirley Dixon Firehouse from now on. We got a ribbon.
By the way, she's still cutting hair. It ain't here, but she's still cutting.
Some of us got their granddaughters.
Y'all grab him with the ribbon and everything.
Frank's right there. Frank.
Mayor, would you like to say something before we cut the ribbon and all?
Just want to say how much I appreciate Grand Junction, how much I appreciate Miss Shirley, and of course the leadership of Mayor Lane. What a great day this is. This shows that the community comes together and how much people care about this community. And we all love Miss Shirley, of course, but this is a great resolve for the people. It was total devastation, as you all know, and what happened here was absolutely devastating to the community. This shows, I tell people, you don't build a house from the roof down, you build it from the foundation up. Y'all have been knocked to your foundation, so now you're rebuilding, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Shirley, for all you've done for this community. Yeah.
David, Tony, Frank, you're at the firehouse.
Get on this.
I will.
This place looks a whole lot different than this year. I guarantee you.
No, not in this.
Don't cut it till you tell me, right? We had a ribbon cutting not too long ago, and she had me in the scissors. I went ahead and cut it. She said, not yet.
Mayor.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Tommy, come on. Tommy, come on, Tommy. The reason we serve people, you can't say no to it. I want to raise Tommy Thompson in the picture. And all of this renovation and everything, we'd like y'all to walk through and see, just like when we get down to the Hess Garage. Tommy Thompson has been responsible for doing all this work. He's done a lot more than just work on these buildings for us. He's been a great, great help to the town. Tommy? He's over there, right?
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
On the first one, we're standing and smiling. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the second one, we're cutting and clapping, cutting and clapping. 1, 2, 3, cut, clap.
Y'all would like to walk through and see what all's been done here. And from here, we're going down to the Hess Garage and all. Well, it's good for us.
Jumped up right quick fast. Did you? Man, I'm a little late. going inside. What's up, Ben?
That's all right. I didn't cry. I'm sure I had tears. I welled up in tears, but they didn't spill.
Y'all was yesterday. Call y'all. Call both of y'all.
He's telling all that. I was thinking, he brings it back. He's trying to take it He probably would have been me. You rode over We wouldn't have seen you again. I got
I bet you didn't win Rob, what's up, baby? I'm blessed, man. How you doing today?
How you doing?
God bless you, man.
Tommy Perkins. I'm the Senator Warley's office.
All right, wrap your plate up.
Well, glad
Yes,
to meet
sir.
you,
Yes, sir.
I've met you. Yes, sir. I think. Tommy Perkins. How
Yes,
you doing?
sir. All right.
Good to see you, man.
You doing good?
Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yes, sir.
I'm so much better than I deserve.
Man, hey, I think it's awesome.
We all are.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
I'll see you.
I know you're going to be down here.
Going in the house, he's ready to go to his garage now to the police department. I might even got his windows off. What's that? I said, we can't have this looking like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hungry for that bologna.
It's food time. Hey, I got a pole up there now.
Yeah.
Shirley Dixon Firehouse down here to this building. This building has always been known as the Hess Garage. Not only did it serve as a garage, there was also a parts store. There was also a funeral home in the back part of it. Through the years, it kind of changed hands. The original fire phone was located here in this office. This was a gathering place for most of the men here in Grand Junction. If the wise needed to get in touch with them, they called the Hess Garage. Because either they were in here or they had been by here. This was the starting off place right here, the Hess Garage. So the town actually purchased this structure, and this is one of the few structures that did receive a lot of damage. The main roof had to be replaced on it and all, as well as around at the water plant and everything. So after that was done, we started thinking about where we're going to relocate, because where the original city hall was, the tornado took it away. So Public Works have been trying to operate out of that building. So they actually took part of the Hess building over here, and then we needed a place for the police department. And so we actually renovated the first part. Once again, Tommy Thompson is who did the renovations for us here. So now we have the police department in here as well as Public Works. But we still have some more expansion here, you know. So after a period of time, I don't remember exactly how many months it was, I received a phone call one day on a Monday, and a lady introduced herself as Kathy Lee and told me that she resided in LaGrange and knew what we had gone through. And I'm going to let her tell you more about how this transpired. But what she mentioned to me was they wanted to do something to commemorate what took place here and in the town of Grand Junction. And I'm going to let her explain what these different bar groups mean. And when she told me this, it just really made me think about it. Not only did volunteers that came in right on the front end to help and distribute items and stuff to people in the community. And when I say the community, it wasn't just Grand Junction. Just like that tractor trailer load of water that came in, it also helped people in Slade, Mississippi, down around Michigan City, because those people, when they came forward, that's what it's all about. You try and help everyone. And to me, that's what the volunteerism was about. And so Ms. Lee actually came to our board meeting, myself, the vice mayor, our alderman and all. We heard what she had to say. This just goes to show you what unity in the community is. Grand Junction and LaGrange have always worked together. It goes all the way back to Mr. Bill Cowan Sr. was mayor over there. My Uncle Perry was mayor here. They worked together. We still work together. Mayor Smith, Mayor Cowan, and myself. We still do stuff because we're all one big community right here. And it means a lot to me. I didn't understand the concept in the very beginning. That's why Ms. Lee and Ms. Logan are going to explain it to you. And because when I think about bar and quilts, I don't think of anything like this. But I'm going to let them explain how this came about. Once again, the town of Grand Junction is very appreciative of this. And it just goes, this is the way communities need to work together. I hate that we had this storm last year, but I'm just telling you, Hardeman County came together. Every mayor in every municipality in Hardeman County contacted me to know, what can we do? The mayor of Fayette County also contacted me. Mayor Taylor, what can we do? And like I say, and the mayor of Grand Junction, of LaGrange, what can we do to help y'all? That's what it's all about. And Ms. Lee, would you come forward? Ms. Logan, would you come forward?
What a crowd. This is lovely. I did not expect this many people here, and I'm so glad you are here for this presentation today. It was this time last year, just after the tornado had ripped through Grand Junction, when Emmanuel Episcopal Church offered the Community Task Force of LaGrange the opportunity to apply for a grant called the Do Good and Share Grant from the Episcopal Diocese of West Tennessee. We applied for the grant with the goal of joining with the residents of Grand Junction in a community art project to honor you victims of this tornado. We weren't sure how it would shape up in the beginning. It sort of had to evolve, and there were lots of ideas. Finally, we decided to create barn quilts because those were something LaGrange had done before. Our residents had been developing a barn quilt trail because there weren't any trails in this end of Tennessee. In fact, barn quilt trails are all over Tennessee in the central and eastern part. There are over 7,000 trails in the United States and Canada, but around this end of Tennessee, only in LaGrange. So the Community Task Force decided to add Hardeman County to the trail and make these quilts tell the story of this tornado, honoring your residents and what you had experienced. Moreover, how you were struggling and helping each other, neighbors helping neighbors. We heard about you. We saw pictures online. When the bulk of the damage was removed, we were allowed to drive through here and it really sunk in. You people are heroes. The way you came together to get each other standing up again was and is astounding. Your cleanup efforts spoke volumes to us about neighbors and compassion and mercy. Our resident artist, Susie Logan, took the reins of the art project and developed the story of destruction to rebirth. She painstakingly worked and reworked images over 6 months. She would bring it to my committee for input. She would bring it to my dining room table. We would tweak colors and placement. She worked and she worked. And if you saw the initial images she presented to the mayor and aldermen, you wouldn't recognize it from what it has evolved into right now. Lots of imagining and reimagining. Art evolves. So do relationships evolve. The title of our grant application was Who is My Neighbor? During this art project, we got to know Pastor Cindy Langens. She introduced us to so many of you here in Grand Junction. Neighbors who we barely knew, people who we'd never met. We heard your stories by painting on these quilts side by side. Then last Friday at the dedication service, we heard more of your stories and your songs of praise. The relationship between our towns has evolved into something very meaningful because of what our residents have learned from your residents. We learned that we asked the wrong question. Just like the lawyer who questioned Jesus asked the wrong question. As you know, Jesus answered that lawyer's trick question, who is my neighbor, with a parable about the Good Samaritan. Leave it to Jesus to answer a question by shining a double-barrel spotlight on our hearts. Answering the bigger question, what kind of neighbor are you? People of Grand Junction, you are the best kind of neighbors. And your lessons of compassion and mercy to each other throughout this year have been a lesson to us, and ultimately a great gift to us. Pastor Cindy, thank you for being the conduit between our two communities. You made it happen. You introduced us, and we are grateful. So first of all, if I might be so bold, please come a little closer. I've lost my cheerleading voice. Thank you, thank you.
Well, first of all, today we always thank God, and I thank Susie Logan, local artist and barn quilts designer, and Kathy Lee, the inspiration behind this marvelous gift, for inviting me to write and share a reflection for this occasion. And I read, I had never been there before, the Civic Center of a nearby town. It was the perfect venue, since that's exactly what they were doing, being civic-minded. Yes, that, but more. It was an expression of love and compassion for their neighbors who suffered the trauma and destruction of a tornado almost exactly a year ago. Love and compassion for you, all who attend this ceremony celebrating the receiving of their gift. At the Civic Center, many people from LaGrange and Grand Junction, artists and would-be finishers, gathered to work on their gift. These lovely, dramatic barn quilts that retell the story of that day. First, the calm before the storm. That first bolt of lightning, the eye of the storm, and the hope that must follow. Would all artists and would-be finishers who worked on this quilt please raise a hand? Thank you, thank you, thank you all. We appreciate all your work. 8 layers of paint are over every inch of those quilts. As I walked into the Civic Center that day, I was overcome and touched by the number of people, as you saw, who'd given up their time to gather, paint, and visit. I could see by the neatly laid out numbered paints, the multiple sizes and styles of brushes, the numbered cups for paint, and especially the numbered paint guides for each quilt, how much work and preparation had been done. The organization was phenomenal. We also appreciated the guidance and patience of local artists, Susie Logan, Lucy Cogbill, Diane Newton, and Barbara Chambers, who guided people chosen by being affected by the storm, not their artistic abilities. We can't thank Kathy Lee for her heart in spearheading this loving project. Our hats are off to Susie Logan, who was inspired by a surviving tree in Grand Junction to create these murals that tell a story of devastation and renewal. Thank you for using your talents in a loving, celebratory way. We also want to acknowledge all of our neighbors in LaGrange who truly wanted to help Grand Junction in the aftermath of the storm. They were also overwhelmed. They had lost, and at first authorities had to turn away the non-residents as conditions on the road were dangerous. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your empathy in this magnificent gift to the city of Grand Junction. Thank you.
Talk louder. Behind my back is a very, very special thing. This is about a story that happened. But if you don't have anything to tell about it for time going forward, people won't know. Guess what this is? Oh. Woo! This I present to Mayor and Town of Grand Junction, and I'll read it to you. Says, barn quilts to honor our neighbors. These images were painted through a collaborative effort between the residents of Grand Junction and LaGrange, Tennessee, to honor the suffering and resilience of the victims of the tornado on April 3rd, 2025. The series represents the day before the storm rolls in, the tornado hits, the tree of life. The title of the series is Song of Hope. Susie Logan, project designer. This gift to the community was made possible by a grant from the Diocese of West Tennessee Emmanuel Episcopal Church in LaGrange.
On behalf of the town of Grand Junction, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, I accept this and I appreciate it. And I will say one more thing. She was very good about all the volunteers were down there painting that day and all. And Ms. Logan, I was actually working on that last one right there, the Tree of Life, and I walked by and I was trying to paint the trunk of the tree, and she said, "Curtis, you've done enough." So. But anyway, we all enjoyed it that day, and we really appreciate everything that y'all have done for us. I really do. And this is actually going to be actually at City Hall is probably where we're going to put that, or we're going to find a proper place to put it and everything. Because, like I say, I can't thank you enough for this.
So Kathy wanted me to tell you a little bit about how this came about. So the night of the tornado, my husband is the fire chief of LaGrange Fire Department. So I was at the fire station with him and lots of people. And we were in the safe room experiencing the tornado in a safe room with 20 people, like this. When the tornado came through, it hit, the tower and the power. So the first thing it went was the cell phones. Then the lights went out. It was very scary. The minute we got out of the shelter, all the sirens were going. And it was amazing to see the firemen immediately jump together and try to figure out where to go, what's going on, run out. Then all of a sudden they had a problem because they couldn't get down the road, so I had to sort that out. So anyhow, they finally left, and that was all I heard until then. Later, when John finally came home, about 6 in the morning, what he told me just devastated. So that is my end of where I was doing it. When Kathy came to me about this idea, I loved it, but I didn't really know how. It's a big thing, where do you start? How do you dive in? So I came and I drove around to see if anything would hit me, and I saw this tree by I guess it's the Methodist church, huge tree in fall foliage, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so amazing that tree survived because everything around it was gone. So I thought, okay, well, that tree, that symbolizes some resilience. This is about resilience. And then as I drove around, I saw people repairing buildings, and I thought, they're already at it. They're helping, they're doing. It's about helping, it's about doing. And then I had a psalm in the Bible come to me, Psalm 104, about God's love and care for his creation and his amazing faithfulness. And I thought, that brings it all together. It's a story. It's a story that's open-ended. That's why I love the plaque, because it'll speak for the quilts. And that example, the testimony, the witness of what this town went through will be here for others to use in their lives as an example. So that's how the story came about. The name, the Song of Hope, is because of the Psalm 104 that I used as a springboard, is Song of Hope. So hence, and hope and song is also in the Bible, with the Psalms are about stories. So I thought the song represented, this is the story of what happened. The story that shows that we can stand firm and finish strong. Thank you.
Ms. Lee, is anything else?
Kathy,
Have a closing
you're gonna
prayer?
say a blessing, yeah.
Then if we could get everybody here and maybe get a shot of everybody here in front of the building and all, and the vice mayor and our other two aldermen are here, where we can get pictures of us with this and all. Go ahead.
Thank you. So we come in thanksgiving for this magnificent gift from the peoples of LaGrange. We now ask God to bless these remembrances of one of life's hard storms in its message of hope and renewal as exemplified by the tree of life. God grant that they hang in this location protected and unharmed for generations to come, knowing that storms may threaten to come once again. May they give hope to others. Today we celebrate life. We celebrate joy. We celebrate the hope that only God can give. May God continue to hold us in the palm of his hand. Father God, bless this day. Bless your people gathered and bless this gift of love. Amen. If you'd allow me, please join me for the closing prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come today with thanksgiving, thanking you for seeing us through the literal storm of last April. Though we were frightened, you were aftermath, those you sent to help in our time of need. Churches from as far away as Hawaii. The Red Cross was on site. Relief agencies, emergency food providers, people like Roderick Blaylock who sell food for their livelihood but came and gave it away as needed. For people who gave of their time to hand out emergency supplies, not for a day but for weeks. We thank you that our mayor gave up more lucrative work to be on site, coordinating relief efforts and tending to infrastructure and massive cleanup. We also thank Jonathan Harris and Ransom Crenshaw for long hours of hard work. We thank the Hardeman County Sheriff's Department for sending trustees to lend a hand, and what hard workers they were. Now, Father, we thank you once again for being here, for being with us in the restoration. You, oh God, are the great healer. You have promised that if my people will turn from their wicked ways and seek God, their land will be healed. We turn to you in our distress, our fear, and our desperation, and you were there. We thank you for being the calm in the storm and the rock upon whom we can stand. We've accepted your promise and thank you for healing our land, our cities of Grand Junction and LaGrange. Now we thank you for our neighbors, the people of LaGrange, who have the heart of the Good Samaritan and have gone the extra mile to share their concern and gratitude for our healing. Today we graciously receive the 4 barn quilts that they provided to be a permanent sign of the story of last April and beyond. It is you, God, who puts hope in our hearts, and we, your people gathered here, thank you for all that you are. Amen.
Does anybody else have anything that would like to say? If not, if I could get everybody to right here where we can get some pictures. Cheryl, Frank, Nicole. Oh yes, we have a ribbon here too. I get to cut another one. Everybody will gather around.
Just see what we're looking like.
Shirley, all y'all come on around. I want everybody in the picture. Sheriff, Tommy, everybody. Cam Allen. First Lieutenant Vandermeer, he's hiding here somewhere. Anyway. Big Rod. Kathy, everybody, y'all come on. David.
Okay, smiling, not cutting. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Cutting and clapping on 3. 1, 2, 3. Cat clap. Woo! Okay. Wait, don't move. Don't move.
They doing another? Oh, she must be keeping.